And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Simulators Anonymous 175 live here tonight. BTDY Racing Series live on VSPEED. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and alongside me is Alec Martinez. And as we get set to finish up qualifying here, we've got Keith Mayato, Dennis Faircloth going around the track right now. But starting up on the pole, Adam Cabot with a 31.477. And after this iRacing update, this track changed a little bit. The Legacy Atlanta track, it was loose a day ago. These guys seem like they're getting a little bit tight now.
Yeah, it has seemed like that. And yes, if for any of those who haven't or have not or don't know what's happening, today iRacing updated the racetracks, updated pretty much the entire racing game simulator, whatever you want to call it. So it has affected the way the handling of these race cars. I know obviously the Xfinity cars didn't get too much of an update. If you really want to tell, I know yesterday you had the truck race, and I'll tell you what, those boys are going to have a whole different ball game come next week, whatever track they go to next week, because those trucks have completely changed. The damage model's different. You can lean on each other a little bit more, like you see the real truck drivers do. So that's going to be interesting to see for the Craftsman Truck Series vehicles. But I know we're getting hopefully one of those series in the future to see as well. So, but overall, yes, this track has changed a lot. This track will change a lot over the course of this race, from tight to loose conditions. Hearing the VSPEED guys talking to them earlier, telling me we're looking at about 48 laps on fuel. Will you want to stretch your tires out that much? We know this kind of Atlanta absolutely chews the tires apart, like last week at Fontana, where we saw tire fall off was significant, and I expect that to be the same case tonight. So they did say this car loosened up over the run, so we'll see how this track changes. The more rubber it takes in, the more the lines will shift. I think we'll see most guys right up on the wall. You're going to need to be Kyle Larson tonight if you're going to want to have a lot of speed.
So here we go. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get a word from our sponsors, and then we're going to take you down to the pit road for your grid. BTDY back right after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back live, getting ready to grid, going down there on the pole. As we just mentioned before, Adam Cabot starting it off. 31.477. And to his outside is Bailey Turner. He got a little bit of an advantage over Jeff Wright there last week in the points at California, but it's still a tall order here. We look at race number 17. Going on to row number 2, it's going to be David Shieldhouse with Ben Bafford, 3rd and 4th position. 5th spot's going to belong to Jeff Wright with Seth Hatchel in 6th. 7th place, Yusuf Ghali with Eric Hutton in 8th. 9th spot will be Joshua Banks and Dennis Faircloth rounding out your top 10.
All right, Keith Biata will be rolling off in 11th. To his outside, his teammate, Chris Samard. Behind them, the McGarvey brothers will line up in row 7. Kevin on the inside, Kyle on the outside. Then you got Noah Mikulski starting 15th. To his outside will be Lane Solfridge. Lyle Solfridge will be starting 17th. Max Cost rolls off 18th. Bentley Glazer rolls off 19th with Dallas Sullivan in 20. Or sorry, is Dallas Sullivan starting 20th? I think. I don't know.
I don't know. The timing and scoring has no 20th position, so.
Oh, it's supposed to be Lakatis. Lakatis will be rolling off 20th. Yes.
Okay, so Lakatis is out there. Moving on, this is going to be a little bit incorrect, but we've got Justin Carey, Dallas Sullivan side by side, Alan Dice next to, I believe that'll be Nick Starling. Jordan Brockle will round out your field here tonight. So as we're set up here, pace car, safety car is lights out.
Yeah.
We're going to do one pace lap here at Atlanta, and I'm sure it'll be loosey-goosey from here on out.
It will be.
Laps. I think
Before we get rolling, should we get Adam Cabot in here, our pole sitter?
Yeah, let's see if we can pull him
Let's get
up.
him in here. Adam Cabot, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
I do, Alec. How's it going?
Well, buddy, you put it on pole. How we feeling for this 120 lapper?
I have no idea. Credit to the poll, or for the poll, goes to Bailey Turner, who right before qualifying told me the line he was running, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but I'll give it a shot. And then I edged him out for the poll and stole a point from him, which I feel a little bit bad about. But you know, we're starting shotgun on the field. It's good track positions, so we'll see what we can do here. Hopefully, get some multi-groove racing and put on a good show.
All right, well, we wish you best of luck there, driver. Go have fun.
And 4.
All right. Adam Cabot, your pole sitter. Bradley, who do we got winning this race here tonight?
Man, watching practice, there was 2 guys that I really paid close attention to, but I'm going to go with the 24 of Bailey Turner. It's like Adam Cabot said. He taught him the line, and I've watched Bailey go around here about 50 laps. I think he's got the line to beat.
Bailey's got a good car, and I'm going to go behind them. I'm going to go, why not? I think Ben Baffert, he's been due for a win. He's ran really well on these tracks. I think it's time. Jeff Wright, though, with your points lead, starting fit tonight. Bailey Turner so far has the advantage, the upper hand into this Martin Sports 175. Pace car pulls off into pit road. The Magic Man, Adam Cabot, leads him to green, and we're underway from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Oh!
Leading lap number 1, Adam Cabot pulls out, and I don't know, Bailey Turner, he lost a ton of ground.
Contact.
All the way back to 4th position. I heard you say, oh, and I saw it a glimpse there right out the corner of my eye that the 24 got some contact. It looked like maybe Jeff Wright got into him.
Yeah, a little bit of contact with his teammate, Yusuf Ghali, in the different color scheme. The Pilot Flying J. It looks like a Sammy Smith car up on the outside of Joshua Banks in the 35. But yeah, Ghali got really loose on his inside, drifted up the racetrack, and he made a little contact with the door of the 24. And as we go up ahead, 24 side by side, up ahead of them with Bailey Turner, and I believe that's David Schildhaus in the 20 using that outside lane as Jeff Wright trying to pressure Adam Cabot for the lead so far. Everybody on the bottom. Now, guys trying to drift up to the top as Yusuf Ghali catches the wall.
Yeah, that high line seems to be working pretty well for the drive off, but drive in, Schildhaus is losing a little bit of ground to Bailey Turner. Adam Cabot did have Jeff Wright right up on the bumper, but that's since kind of calmed down a little bit. The 23 of Ben Baffert settle out in the 6th position. And Dennis Faircloth has picked up 1 spot. He gets around Seth Hatchel, who Hatchel actually started up towards the top 5, did he not?
He did. I believe he started. No, he's.
Oh, the idiot.
Oh, trouble. Faircloth in the wall.
Faircloth scrubbed off a lot of speed there and went tight, hit the outside wall on the exit of 2.
Might not have too much damage. You have a little bit that's going to affect him. Unfortunately, old damage model still on these race cars, so it's going to affect him a little bit on the straightaway. Might affect him, especially in dirty air behind the 77 of Chris Samar, but so far single filed out all the way throughout the top 10 until you get to that battle with Faircloth. And now Noah Mikulski in the 10. Mikulski started 15th up to 13th, grabs 12th away from the 80 of Faircloth, as everybody can see, running multiple lines as you get farther into the back of the pack, trying to get some clean air to the nose.
Yeah, there's a lot of different lines around this place, but what you can see here up towards the front, it's pretty much single file, everyone running that bottom in 3 and 4. Schildhaus is probably the odd man out in this top 5. He's running really high. Now Jeff Wright, as I say that, he comes up to the high line as well. Bailey Turner now to the bottom.
Look at the run.
I think that high line is helping these guys have that sense of rotation, but it really is burning that right front off.
And it is, that's true. But as this track takes rubber in, that high line will be more and more preferred, especially as you see Jeff Wright, David Schildhaus using it up. And then you got Faircloth, Mikulski, Kevin, and Kyle McGarvey using that outside lane. Starling using it as well. But look at the run that you can see these guys develop using that outside. As Jeff Wright able to use the top lane to get next to Adam Cabot. Cabot has to go high to try to beat him off here. Let's see. And you can see the run that the 17 is going to get. As you can see, Jeff Wright clears him, but now Cabot crosses him over into turn number 3.
Yeah, Cabot got a big run there running that high line, and it put Jeff Wright in the lead for about 2 seconds down the back straightaway.
Well, he'll have it.
I think he's going to get him here.
And a
Side
bonus.
is super fast, but watching Bailey Turner back here, he's still running that bottom. He's saving those tires. He's starting to work his way back up to these boys, 0.4 of a second.
He is, and unfortunately, Bailey just watched his teammate give up the lead and give a point to Jeff Wright in the 48, but his teammate, Adam Cabot, still fighting him for this lead here. I know 8 laps into a 120-lap race. Is right, finally clears, gets back down to the bottom, misses it a little bit. That allows Cabot to at least get up to the rear bumper, loosen him up a little bit as Bailey Turner about 4.5 tenths, maybe 5 tenths, a half a second behind these guys, watching these guys lurking in the shadows of these guys pushing their tires hard as these guys middle and top lane more preferred as Cabot diamonds the corner to the bottom, and Bailey Turner staying loyal on that white line on the inside lane.
Maybe Cabot was going to be able to get that push in the entry and slide job like Jeff Wright did. Didn't work out for him, but Jeff is, they're holding on. These guys racing really hard for first and second position. Back here, David Shieldhouse still in that high groove. He's lost a little bit of ground. He's about a second back from your leaders. And then Joshua Banks, he's starting to work his way up. Different lines. It's almost like an auto club situation where you have multi-groove racing, multi-groove setups. It's just a preferred, how do you want the car to handle?
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. That's what we love about stock car racing's back here. I'll tell you, there's a lot of preferred grooves here with Eric Hutton getting around Ben Baffert. I'll tell you what, the man on the move has been the Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang of Noah Mikulski. He has been on the charge, started 15th, already inside the top 10, up into 8th, but Baffert unfortunately falling back to now the clutches of Seth Hatchel, last week's winner at Auto Club Speedway. Unfortunately, this track not suiting. These two cars were the fastest cars in California, and right now they are struggling here, running almost outside the top 10.
Yeah, and it's starting to single file out. It's working its way down through the field. We saw Dennis Faircloth there that clipped the wall a moment ago. He's since settled down a little bit, running in the 12th position. Almost 3 wide here. Baffert falling very fast. These guys seem to have saved their tires as the 36 of my auto goes around him.
Well, we saw this at Fontana where Baffert was saving his tires really hard. Remember, he was able to run those guys down and be able to be a factor in this race. 48 laps is what we were told is the bottom amount of laps that you can run on this tank of fuel. So far, probably going to be pinning about another 36 laps. What will the tires be like after so many laps ran on these Goodyear Racing Eagles? So we'll see. I'll tell you what, man, look at back here. They are all over the racetrack, top to bottom on the white line, almost up by the wall. And as this race gets on, moves on later and later, you will see guys jump up right next to that wall, and they're going to have to release that inner Kyle Larson within them to be right up on the wall.
Yeah, Dennis Faircloth is no stranger to running that wall. He's really good at it. But at the same time, it looks really tight there on the exit of 2. It's dangerous in 1 and 2.
It is. That wall just juts out right at you here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But right now, Faircloth, we always see him every week where you can run that top lane. He's up there rubbering up for these guys. So we'll see what he can do. So far, you just got to be careful. There's really no margin for a mistake. If you're on the bottom, you get loose, that's fine. If you're on the top and you get loose, you might catch the wall here. As a battle for 7th on the racetrack as well. Noah Mikulski on the move, trying to get by Eric Hutton, using that bottom lane. As you can see, that rubber is starting to build on the bottom, and guess what? It looks like he was able to clear. He just doesn't take advantage of it. And there comes Eric Hutton, finding back on the outside. There you go, right into the corner.
Mikulski able to clear. He's going to come up off the exit of 4. That car is on the move. Started back in the 15th position. Works his way into the top 10.
Biggest mover without a doubt. He continues to impress us week in and week out as Yusuf Ghali up ahead of Noah Mikulski in the 54 Pilot Flying J Toyota Supra. He's doing himself a solid. I believe he's lost himself maybe 1 or 2 positions, but so far running just outside the top 5. He's letting Banks, he's up 1 position there. So yeah, he let Banks kind of go, get by him, and he's got about a second gap, kind of all by himself. Really no cars around him, but for this lead, Jeff Wright has finally opened up to about a 3-car length lead over Adam Cabot. Bailey Turner has closed the gap as well, but don't look now. Here comes David Shieldhouse and Joshua Banks closing up on these 3, I should say.
Yeah, Shieldhouse has made up about 4/10 of a second as what we talked about him a moment ago. 8/10 now separate him and the leader, and he's working the outside of Bailey Turner. Maybe this outside groove is a little better than I thought it would be, but Bailey was doing so well in practice, it just looked like his average times would be better down on that bottom. These guys have rubbered up the top, didn't do it a lot in practice, they've really raced it hard. And the 24 changing up his line now, playing a little defense.
They just try to dirty up that air for the 20, and I'll tell you what, man, Jeff Wright is running the highest of anybody. He is almost laying the right rear on the wall. If he gets tight or loose, that 48's going to hit it. And we saw what happened to Jeff Wright last week at Fontana. He got up into the wall, and it really hurt his car, and it hurt his performance. And he ended up finishing barely inside the top 10. I think he got 10th, which is probably one of his worst finishes this season. And to say that is absolutely insane. That's why he's leading the points and looks like the championship favorite by a mile, because he hasn't had many finishes outside the top 10. But with these points multipliers, you cannot afford to have a bad day.
No, you can't. Right now, this is crunch time. This is where it has to be a perfect season all the way through. The last 4 races, you got to be perfect, because there's going to be somebody else that is if you're not.
And next week, we know anything can go wrong. We go short track racing for the final time this season, which is at the Martinsville Speedway. We know at Martinsville, most likely the gloves are going to come off, the wheels will fall off the train, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard-fought race. There's going to be a lot of bumping and banging next week at Martinsville. Battles inside the top 10 as well. Eric Hutton, Chris Samard battling for 10th right now. Hutton able to clear around the 77. Bentley Glazer's creeped up into the picture. Faircloth has unfortunately kind of fell back, and that's allowing their side-by-side behind them for 14th, or 13th, excuse me. That's with Ben Baffert in the 23 and the 80 battling together behind these guys. So interesting to see all over this racetrack. Still a lot of battles, still cars moving all around the racetrack here. And so far, nobody's really pulled away. Jeff Wright hasn't pulled away. This field very close as Baffert finally able to clear the 80 of Faircloth. He'll move himself into 13th. The 80 slots back to 14th. Behind them, you got Kevin McGarvey, Ellen Dice battling for 15th. Starling, Kyle McGarvey back there as well, as this field pretty much all close together except Casey Lakatis, who had to start from the pits. He's unfortunately running dead last here in 25th, and I believe, no, he's still on the lead lap. So, he's gonna have to hope for a caution here if he wants to be in this race. And we talked about this season being so clean and green. There hasn't been many cautions.
No, this really isn't the track to rely on a caution. Either of these guys having multiple grooves and they're able to pass and work different lines. And yeah, we're still watching them run that high groove in 4.
Oh.
And the 35 of Joshua Banks almost gets to the inside of Shieldhouse on the exit there. Bailey Turner under fire by the 20. This battle's been brewing for quite some time, and I think Bailey Turner moving up to that high groove has really stunted the growth. The 20 was on a move.
It has, and these cars are starting to get loose. I'm noticing a lot of these guys starting to wiggle and wobble off these corners, especially in 3 and 4. These guys sliding around, and I'm looking, they haven't been up here this high in practice. They weren't even close to being that high in 3 and 4. So I'm noticing these guys are willing to go even higher in the race, which is even putting it more at a cost here, because I know in Atlanta, I see guys running the wall here in 1 and 2, but usually in 3 and 4, you don't see guys going up that high.
No. We want to go back and look at just inside the top 10, because Eric Hutton is catching up to the leader. So some of these guys have been saving tires. Last time by, he matched the leader's lap time, a 33.525 to Jeff Wright's 33.568. So actually, Eric Hutton, fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, and he's running down the 3 cars ahead of him, which is Mikulski, Hatchel, and Mayato. Mayato has started 11th, and he's already up into 9th, trying to get by his teammate Seth Hatchel. Gonna have a nice run, but is he gonna be able to complete it? Hatchel goes to the bottom of Mikulski. There goes on board with the 36 V-Speed Camaro. He'll go up to the outside, follows the 10. Hatchel's been trying to make this pass work. He just hasn't been able to get it done here. Mikulski's pretty much pinching him on the bottom. You can see this guy's getting really loose. That's going to open the door for Keith Mayato to close the door, or to close in on these two, and that allows the 88 of Eric Hutton to close in as well.
With Hatchel stuck down there on the bottom, I think that Mikulski is just kind of holding him down there in check, because every time looks like the 8 gets a run down the straightaways, it's going to be Mikulski edging it back out.
And Mayato giving him a little shove down this backstretch as he got a nice run here. And now there's going to be 4 cars under a blanket here, as you can see, pinching the guy on the bottom, taking that side force away, getting him loose, and taking all the air away. Loosens that car up on the bottom to where they can't get back on the throttle. Especially if you're running the wall, you can carry so much more momentum than the guy on the inside. As you can see, Mikulski finally able to clear the 8. What will Mayato do? He's going to take him 3 wide. Why not? here in Atlanta. 3 wide. It's going to get really tight off the corner. Bukowski's going to get squeezed in the middle. He's going to have to tuck in line. It's the 36. Power move to the outside. Gets the 2-for-1 special out of turn number 2. Hatchel back down to 9th. Here comes Hutton to try to take advantage as well.
Almost gets in there and makes it 3 wide again, but he thinks better of it. And the 8 of Seth Hatchel lifts out of the throttle on the backstretch. I think Hatchel had the run. Oh boy, this is good racing.
This is what we like to see from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Is Hatchel still working on the 10, and this battle has caused a gaggle of race cars. And back here is Dennis Faircloth really struggling, falling back to the 20th position. He's got Justin Carey, and I believe Lyle Silver. Oh, he's in the wall! Gets the wall again. I think something might be broken in that race car, and he's going to bring it down to pit lane. It looks like unfortunate circumstances for the 80 Toyota Supra of Dennis Faircloth. He'll bring it down to pit road, and I'll tell you what, Joshua Banks in a battle with Yusuf Ghali. Ghali just got by for 5th, and I'll tell you what, Ghali's been the fastest car on the racetrack inside the top 5 by a wide margin. Jeff Wright turned a 33.8, Ghali a 33.6. And here comes David Shieldhouse to the inside of Bailey Turner.
Side by side just in front of him for the 3rd position. Shieldhouse has been working on the back of that 24 for quite some time. He got really loose, scrubbed that speed, and now Bailey's going to do the crossover into 1.
I don't think he's going to get him.
All the way to the bottom for the 24.
Track continuing to change. Look at the rubber, how early in the race there was nothing on it. It was nice and dark gray. This track starting to get darker and darker. Bailey Turner loses 1 spot, might lose 2. Another one to his teammate Yusuf Ghali, sends it down to the inside. It seems like this bottom lane is better in 3 and 4 than it is in 1 and 2. Just can't hold it there. He gets loose off of 4. That allows Bailey Turner to get back to his outside, be able to get him into turn number 1, and he should be able to carry the momentum off unless the 54 can clear off of turn 2, which might be possible. Just the 54, a lot more rear drive off the corners. Looks like he'll slot up. He'll take 4th position away from Bailey Turner, and now Turner with the crossover allows Banks to get down to the inside. Or Banks pulls up. Couldn't do it. It shows how much these tires are wearing. And I'll tell you, speaking of tires wearing, Mikulski and Hatchel are still going at it for 9th. Now Ben Baffert has closed into this battle. He's back inside the top 10, holding in that the 10th position. But Baffert, we know he's aggressive. He's saved tires. Now starting to push that car a little bit harder. Gets some clean air to the nose. Tries to shoot the gap through the middle. Man, he's going to cut it close. He's going to make a little contact with Hatchel. No, he hurts him. Hatchel into the outside wall. Hatchel saves it. Will he? Yes, he will. No caution. Mikulski hard into the outside wall. I don't know how there's not a caution for that, but Ben Baffert somehow tried to stick it 3 wide. There wasn't a gap, and 2 cars end up hard into the outside wall. V8, last week's winner, in major trouble. Yeah, there just wasn't a hole. I don't think there was a hole there, honestly. It's so early in this race to push it like that. Oh, Bentley Glazer, great save as well. Ooh. Heck of a save. Getting on board with the 88. He had a front row seat for these 3 cars getting together. You could see Baffert, like I said, there just wasn't a hole. I mean, I know he's aggressive, but you can't do that. Look at that, shoot in the middle. Moses there, parting the Red Seas, right through the middle of those guys. And now Ben Baffert is, honestly, Baffert didn't get, he got a little bit of damage, but yeah, it's just like I said, I don't think there was room for that move there. I know you're 30 laps into the race. There's no point in pushing it that hard. You know, those guys have been battling for a while, but now Mikulski and Hatchel's days are pretty much over. In the pits, unfortunately. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Bailey Turner's lost another spot to Joshua Banks. Bailey really struggling here on this long run, so losing points, especially to Jeff Wright, his championship rival in the lead. Tell you what, David Shieldhouse has some pace in that Heartbeat Hot Sauce 20. That car is starting to move. He's been making that outside work pretty much all race. He's close up to Cabot. Huh. Oh, you're good. What are you snacking on tonight?
Yeah, that microphone was muted the whole time. I apologize for that. Meat and shrimp.
Eating some shrimp. Oh, man. You should get me some. I wouldn't mind some shrimp right now. As this battle for second heating up here as Bailey Turner lost another spot here. So lose that one to Keith Mayato. Back down to 7th. Goes to 24. So struggle here for the 24. This is not good for his championship hopes here. As Shieldhouse working on Adam Cabot. Loose off the corner. Going to try to get the run. He will try to take the run. Side by side between the 20 and the 17. Going into turn 1 here. Will Cabot concede the position? No, he won't. Shieldhouse to the bottom. Cabot up, drifts up the racetrack up to the top. Using that outside lane. Shieldhouse, will he be able to clear? He has the hole. He'll try to fit it. Yes, he will. Now Cabot shoots down to the inside. Try to cross him over into turn number 3. Will he be able to do it? Maybe a slide job? No, he won't. Shieldhouse really working that outside lane, and he's moving in that 20 car.
Outside line seems to be working really well. These guys, even side by side, are still hanging right with Jeff Wright, but he's still liking what he sees. These guys using up their tires. 3/4 of a second separate the 20 and the 48, and it's still side by side between him and Cabot as they go into 1 and 2.
Should be able to get the run here and clear, and look at that, and man, enough of a run to maybe even get it to Jeff Wright's back bumper. Right, so far struggling here. He's been probably the slowest car other than maybe Joshua Banks in the top 5. Really struggling in the pace of that 48 as this run continues to go on. Maybe another 10 or so laps until we get to green flag pit stop. Still 4 cars battling here for the lead of this race. And I'll tell you what, David Shieldhouse, he's hungry. He hasn't had a win in a while, and he's been trying to get one here. He's got 3 wins on the season. He's looking for number 4, and he might be able to, if he can get this clean air, take control of this race.
So here we go. Mark McFadden says disappointed, missed the race here tonight. He had a big update, 65 minutes long. Yeah, we all had that big update. Trading paint stopped working. Lots of things stopped working. But Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta, it's heating up. Three-way battle for the lead. Jeff Wright, David Shieldhouse, and Adam Cabot, all within 0.4 of a second of each other now.
Yeah, well, it's a shame Mark McFadden couldn't make it out tonight, but we're glad you're tuning in and enjoying and supporting us here watching this race as this battle for the lead heating up. It's about to be a 4-car battle. Jeff Wright almost clips the wall. David Shieldhouse really putting the pressure. Oh, Jeff Wright pitting, crew on the wall. He's going to pit. Maybe he'll cut it into thirds here. Yusuf Ghali on the inside. He's ran these guys down as well. And really, the guy on the move has been Keith Mayato. Jeff Wright's got to be careful here on pit entry. Can't afford to speed. He's got enough of a gap over Bailey Turner. He'll make it into pit road with no ease, as Ben Baffert has brought it into pit road as well. I believe Bailey Turner has fallen back.
He's 6th position. He's
sixth,
still
sorry,
on.
he's staying out of the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to come in that time by 34.5.
So Shieldhouse has taken the lead of this race, and now Shieldhouse is pitting. He'll try to overcut the 48 of Jeff Wright. What will this do for Adam Cabot or Yusuf Ghali? Looks like Shieldhouse bringing it in. Cabot stays on the... Oh, Cabot runs into him! Cabot spins the 20 into the pit road! Shieldhouse spins!
I cannot believe, I don't know if he called it out on the track. The 17 of Cabot had to know the 20 was coming down pit road. Oh boy.
Wow! And Shieldhouse destroyed. Cabot destroyed.
So here it is. He calls it out. He's coming down pit road right here.
Yeah, he was calling it out. He let everybody know, and I don't know if Cabot was able to see. Yeah, and Cabot just went right into the back of him and spun him out. And he looked like David Shieldhouse had the long run car, had the long run pace, and unfortunately, it's going to fall back at least 1, maybe 2 laps, and Jeff Wright, getting another gift this season, will have a nice lead over Yusuf Ghali.
Adam Cabot also with some front end damage. We'll look at the front of that machine. It's on pit road. It doesn't look like he has the same substantial, but the big problem here is that the 20 of Shieldhouse had an unsafe pin entry.
Oh yeah,
so
he's
going to get a hold here. Yeah, he's praying for a caution
any damage from that somehow.
Cabot got maybe a touch of damage, but probably 10 seconds at the most.
Yeah, 10 seconds at the most. So exit pit road. I'll tell you, the guy that was on the move on that last run was Keith Mayato. Mayato has cycled up into 3rd now. Or what will be 3rd is Justin Carey's leading this race in the pit. He hasn't yet to bring it down pit road. It's Dallas Sullivan keeping it up on the racetrack here with, he's already made a pit stop, I believe. So Kerry, the last car to make a pit stop is Lyle Selfridge. He's brought it into pit road. And now Kerry looks like he'll be staying out one more lap here, trying to go the long game. As Jeff Wright, once Kerry pits, Jeff Wright will assume the race lead, but Sullivan might get it here if he can hold on another lap and get another bonus point. But right now, Jeff Wright poised to win maybe another race this season and probably pretty much solidify himself as the champion of BTDY. Not sure yet. Still got the multipliers, 2 times multipliers coming up after Martinsville. So still some time to go in this chase here. But Bailey Turner, he's got to have some work to do here.
And Bailey Turner back in the 7th position after they cycle pit stops with Dallas Sullivan, Justin Carey. I'd say Sullivan will hold on maybe to the top 10, but 13 laps difference on his tires, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
Very
it is
short
going
pit
to
for
be.
the 46 as well. He's going to be on a different cycle, and he might have to pit an extra stop here.
It's going to be interesting to see as Dallas Sullivan unfortunately got past his Carey. Carey is still going up on the still on the racetrack here. He's still leading this race. So I'll tell you what, Noah Mikulski was very displeased with Ben Baffert. So, and I respect it. Noah was really fast, and unfortunately, you can see him limping that 10 car, limping around the racetrack. Not too happy with Ben Baffert.
I'd say there's a lot of tempers flaring out here tonight. We've had multiple different instances where guys have gotten into each other. Things have happened.
And you know what next week is?
Yeah.
Martinsville.
A place that you don't want to have any kind of rival at, because you're going to see him on one side of the track or the other. So Kerry's still out there on the racetrack. He's got 46 laps on this stint. Sounds like he's clutching it. He's stretching this thing out. 47 laps.
Oh, he's going to try to 2-stop it here, which will be interesting to see. Everybody else probably going to 3-stop it. This could be good for Kerry and getting him a lot of positions, maybe even a top 10. We'll see here. He's gotten 47 laps. If he can stretch it to 48 or 47, coming to 40, if he can pit this lap, I think he might be able to go to make it a 2-stopper here.
It'll be interesting. He is, yeah, he's bringing it down this time by.
Yeah, we'll see here. Is bringing it in here. Can't afford the speed. He'll crawl it into pit road, which honestly safe option, and that will hand the lead over to the 48 Lowe's machine of Jeff Wright. Looking for his, was it going to be 5th win of the season or 6th win of the season? It's his 5th win. 5th win.
I was going to say, statistically, I have no idea.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll
Jeff
be his
Wright
5th win of the
lot.
season. Yes.
He's
always
running
running up
average
front.
finish. Yeah, great average finish for the 48 team this year.
Cabot got by Golly. He's actually got 2 lap fresher tires than Jeff Wright, and that damage, I don't think he got any damage there, if not very minimal. So he's really starting to make his way through 2 seconds, 2 laps fresher tires than Jeff Wright. Will he be able to run down? He's got 3.5 seconds to run down the 48 of Jeff Wright. So still a long way to go.
Justin Carey back out on the track. He's going to go a lap down, but if he
He'll
can
have
stretch
way
us
fresher
out,
tires.
way fresher tires, he can stretch this run out second time. This could play in the hand if we don't have a caution. I know we've gotten close a couple different times here tonight. Max Koss working his way up to 13th. He's behind the 7 of Nick Starling here.
He's having to give himself a nice run as well. So we'll see what happens. Koss, he's been putting together some really good runs these last few races. So good to see him improving. Next year he's going to have to improve as well, because these won't be the cars next year. We'll be going into a little more tough and difficult race cars coming into next season. So that's going to be interesting to say. As I will say, I know the drivers are racing. They don't know, but the schedule for next season will be released, and I can say that the season will open up at Daytona with the next-gen race cars. So the Gen 7 cars will be back on the BTDY schedule, as well as the Generation 4 race cars will also be back on the schedule. It's going to be a little bit of mix of a 2007 season when NASCAR ran the Gen 4 and the COT, except it's just the next-gen and the Gen 4. So I can't say that the Gen 4s will be on short tracks and the next gens will be on the mile and a half and super speedway. So that'll make for a very, very fun season, opening it up at Daytona and closing the season out in Fontana, California for Auto Club Speedway being the championship race next season. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Go back, some of these guys have been struggling a little bit here as of late. 9 seconds back here for Eric Hutton. He started in the 8th position, finds himself back in the 8th position. Chris Samard, he's actually on the move here tonight. Started in 12th. He's moved up to the top 10. Ben Baffert, even with that damage, he's still in the top 10 right now. But he started in 4th position. Little right side damage still on that 23 Toyota. And I'd have to say that the moves that were made early in this race, some of these guys are, the tempers are flaring. You know that Martinsville's coming up.
Yeah. I'm sure some scores will be some scores will be settled next week at Martinsville. I think that was one of the races that was circled. If we did have a caution-free streak, will definitely be broken once we get to Martinsville. And I hear it's under the lights, so it's going to be a heck of a race at Martinsville. Martinsville is going to be one of those can't miss events. There's going to be a lot of bumping and banging. Bent fenders, probably missing fenders, missing bumpers. I'm sure that we'll get it all at Martinsville. It's really rare to see a lot of green flag laps at Martinsville, but I think these guys are up to the test and can do it. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun event. How about Bentley Glazer up into 6th in the 87 car? Not a sponsor on there. I think we need to get him a sponsor for next year. But man, having himself a nice run. Started 14th up to 6th. Guy puts together quiet and solid runs.
19th position for the starting. That is the biggest mover of the race. 13 positions picked up here for the 87. And we've seen him, especially there at Phoenix this year, up there in the top 5. And
Phoenix.
Just putting it all together for the 87 team. That sealed the deal here for Bentley Glazer. And looking like he might have a good finish as we approach the halfway point of this race.
Joshua Banks might have had an issue.
David Shieldhouse is still, well, he's a lap down. But in recovery mode. Who's having an issue here on the track?
He had an issue. He is out of the race.
Joshua Banks. Oh, no.
That's a shame. Yeah, he just went away. So, yeah, that's unfortunate for Joshua Banks. Some technical difficulties. One of the things I know we don't mention a lot, but yeah, these guys are not in real race cars. They're off of their simulator or setup that they have at their house. So unfortunately, lost connection here, and he is unfortunately going to fall all the way back to 24th position. But right now, Jeff Wright.
It's the equivalent of a blown engine, something beyond your control.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much that's what it is if you had to compare it to something. So Jeff Wright, commanding lead over everybody right now. It's kind of dwindled down a little bit as Adam Cabot slowly but surely running him down a little bit as Justin Carey on fresher tires trying to get around the 17. He's racing these guys respectfully, going by when he needs to. So hats off to the Reaper Apparel Company, Toyota Supra. He was led some laps, and I think he's led a lot of laps this season. Enough to at least lead enough laps to stand on strategy and get some extra points. So far having himself a good run. I believe in points. Justin is running. Let's see if I can find him. He's running a solid 16, so trying to get some 15 points in on the season. He's trailing about 9.5 points to Chris Samard, so not bad.
And on board with the 54 of Yusuf Ghali. He's catching up a little bit to Adam Cabot. Cabot's also catching up to Jeff Wright. 2.3 seconds will be the gap between the 48 and the 17. These guys starting to turn it on late in the run, and it's kind of what we saw the last time. Jeff Wright was great on the short run, able to maintain the lead, but those guys started putting a lot of pressure on him before green flag pit stops.
Yeah, so far Jeff Wright doing himself a nice solid here as Bailey Turner Trail is about 4 positions back. As back here you can see Chris Samard putting together another solid run. He's up to 8th, having himself a nice run, and so far a lot of guys moving their way. How about Kyle McGarvey running in 10th, running down Dallas Sullivan for 9th here, so he's having himself another solid run. Good to see different guys running up here.
Sullivan in the 9th position. That's been a while since we've seen Sullivan up there. And, it's kind of a mix of the flip-flop. You could say it's a product of some of these guys getting bumped out of the race. Adam Cabot kind of, I guess, moving Shieldhouse or whatever the case may have been there. Baffert getting into Mikulski. It's kind of knocked 4 or 5 guys out of this top 10. It changed things.
Yeah, it really has. A lot of guys have been kind of kicked out of the top 10, and that's allowed some other guys to get by as Eric Hutton just got by Bentley Glazer for 6th. So I think Sullivan bringing it into pit road here in the 46 as green flag pit stops will kick off again. But ooh, nice and easy there. A good save, and now down to pit road. Doesn't want to speed, and he'll bring it down nice and easy. That was almost a caution there, and the Octane Ford Mustang brings it down to pit road for the 2nd stop of the night. 29 laps on those tires. Curious to see what will happen as Jeff Wright 1 second lead as we've come to the halfway mark of the Martin Sports 175. Is how about we go to a little quick commercial break, and we'll come back for the start of green flag pit stops.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out her YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as her Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Welcome back to the Martin Sports 175 here from the Atlanta Motor, the Simulators. Is it the Simulators Anonymous 175? Yeah. Sorry, wow, I've been saying the wrong thing. So yeah, welcome back. I don't even, you know what? No, it is, wait, yeah, it is the Simulators Anonymous 175. I've been calling it the wrong race, so I apologize to Simulators Anonymous. Appreciate y'all sponsoring. Unfortunately, Dennis Faircloth has been repping the brand here tonight. He's kind of struggled, but as we're back here, Adam Cabot, Yusuf Ghali have kind of been putting a little bit of a charge on your leader, Jeff Wright. Unfortunately, as we went to commercial, Yusuf Ghali got up into the wall off turn 2, and he's kind of affected his handling in that race. But I'll tell you what, the Affinity for Gaming Chevrolet, since this is the Affinity for Gaming 175, I'm just all over the place.
All over the place.
Simulators Anonymous team, highest running driver, Kyle McGarvey, the 42, having himself a great night here, as he's been really going in that Logitech Toyota Simulators Anonymous Supra, running here in ninth, ahead of Ben Baffert and trailing Chris Samard by about 3 seconds, but having himself a wonderful, wonderful night here, and having himself a solid night. Hasn't showed up to all the races, but when he does, he's always playing out there, right outside the top 10, and if not, flirting with the top 10 usually. So, tell you what though, Jeff Wright starting to dwindle back. Now 1.3 seconds to Adam Cabot, Yusuf Ghali trailing behind them.
Mayato also catching him.
Mayato, he's running him down as well.
Mayato actually been catching up to this front two in front of him. The 54 of Yusuf Ghali hits the outside wall, but still hanging pretty close there with Cabot.
Bailey Turner, looks like he has a little bit of damage. He's got some right front damage on that 24. Looks like a little crinkle by the hood, a little gap in the hood, a little crinkle in the fender. The fender's kind of disconnected from the bumper, and we talked about these composite bodies. They're bolted together. As you can see, those RPMs climb as he gets loose off the corner. That's allowed Eric Hutton to attack and go to his outside, trying to get to the outside of the 24. Just won't do it. Bailey tries to take the air away, but Hutton goes to cross him over, and don't look behind them. That white car, not Dallas Sullivan, but the other one, the Chevy one, Bentley Glazer is running them down as well.
Starting to race side by side, Eric Hutton, Bailey Turner. This is for the 5th position. Hutton's been on the move, but very loose there on the exit of 4. That allows Bailey just going to pull back out in front of him. A momentum swing happened very quickly. Hutton had a great run off of 2 to take it into 3 and 4, just couldn't get the pass.
And Dallas Sullivan's got fresher tires. He's going to try to go around both of them here. He'll get around Hutton. He'll try to get around Bailey Turner, and they're kind of holding him up a little bit, that strategy. I think Dallas is 3-stopping it. So interesting to see here if this helps. I know he's kind of been held back here by these two guys battling. So as Hutton tries to put another charge on Bailey Turner, the tires really starting to fall off here as Max Cost bringing it in for a new fresh set of Goodyear Racing Eagles on that Ford Mustang, as Ben Baffert also has brought it in. This guy's going to hope for no caution, most likely, here as this run continuing to go out. When will Jeff Wright pit? When will Adam Cabot pit is the question. Right, a 1.2 second lead.
I think they ran it out, what, 30, 35 laps on that last one?
No, the last one, I think Jeff went to about 39. Yeah, his last pit was 39.
So they're getting into that window. We're about 3 laps shy of that.
He's battle for second. What's going on here? Yusuf Ghali, Adam Cabot going at it here. Ghali looks down to the inside, won't be able to do anything. Ghali seems like he has a little more pace than Cabot, and both of these guys have more pace than Jeff Wright. So I'm curious to see what will happen here. As I'm looking here, Jeff Wright has been able to clear the... Max Cost! Oh, he's spinning, he's around. Yeah, he's up on the inside. Will this be a caution? He's got to be careful to bring it out here. He doesn't want to back up too far because it will trigger a caution. He looks to get it going in the right direction. That's unfortunate. He just brought it down pit lane, and that's going to affect him very much. Let's see what happens here. What happened to the 63 of Max Cost? Oh, did Adam Cabot hit him?
Yeah, I don't know if the 63 was coming down pit road, or he's just trying to get out of the way of the leaders. I'm not sure, because the 63 had just came down pit road. I don't know if he didn't take fuel or the tires were messed up. But yeah, Max Cost getting clipped.
He was trying to bring it down pit road, and yeah, he got a little nice tap from Adam Cabot. It's the second car Adam Cabot's hit going into pit road, so
yeah,
not a good night if you're pitting in front of Adam Cabot, but that held up Cabot and Yusuf Ghali. Ghali got around Cabot, and that's allowed Mayato to catch up as well, but that unfortunately costed them 0.3 of a second as Jeff Wright is pretty much setting sail here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but now a 3-car fight for second.
Mayato is all but caught these boys. He's 0.2 of a second back from Adam Cabot. Like you said, Cabot, it's a wonder Cabot hasn't got that front end completely destroyed. I don't know how he's not getting damage on that thing.
It's amazing. I don't know. There's some guys bringing it in down pit road. Ghali's about matching lap times with Jeff Wright. They're just trading lap times. So we'll see what happens. I think Jeff Wright, you'll see him bring it down in about 2 or 3 laps here. As Justin Carey's bringing it in.
It's interesting. Carey was one of the guys that stretched it out really far the last time. Now coming down pit road after only
28 laps.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure on the strategy for the 12 here today.
We'll see Cabot and Mayato going at it here for third. Cabot almost gets up into the outside wall. Mayato now pulls even with him down the back stretch here. What will happen in turn 3? Will Mayato trying to throw a slide job into turn number 3? He'll send it in. He won't be able to get the slide job completed. Cabot rolling up on that outside lane. Mayato trying to get it there. He slides off the corner. Won't be able to hold it. Cabot will carry the momentum down the front stretch. We're having some guys bring it down pit road. Starling is in. McGarvey is in. Bafford has brought it in about 5 laps ago. A lot of guys bringing it down pit road. Lane Solford stays out on the racetrack. Licata stays on the racetrack as well. So still, what will this do for Jeff Wright? Oh, Adam Cabot's bringing it in.
All right, so coming up on green flag pit stops are the leaders. The 17, he's going to let the 36 go on the outside.
No, he's bringing it in.
Yeah, sideways.
Ascending to pit road, he'll get it down to pit speed of 50 miles an hour. And now, what will this do for Jeff Wright or Yusuf Ghali?
Bentley Glazer in the 87 right behind him. 42, McGarvey, also down pit road.
Yeah, Dice stays out. Seth Hatchel kind of limping it around as Jeff Wright now bringing it in down into pit road. Yusuf Ghali also bringing it in. Jeff Wright's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to speed.
Oh,
Ghali hot under the brakes. Ghali gonna make it. Barely, but now allows Keith Mayato gets to his outside. Oh, trouble behind them. One car up into the outside wall. Oh, it's Bailey Turner.
He hit that wall hard.
Turner gets up into the outside wall.
'24 car.
Oh, no.
Done for the day.
No, he's not done yet. He's running down the pit lane, but right there, he downshifted too early. And, oh, that's a good hit. That's a pretty decent-sized hit to the outside wall. That's going to really affect him.
Yeah, I'd have to say that 24
as Eric Hutton has brought it in, Jeff Wright bringing it out, but it's going to be a close battle between Wright and Cabot for the lead. Who will cycle? Looks like Cabot will beat Jeff Wright off of pit road. Bailey Turner, a lot of damage. Now the battle's for third on the racetrack. Yusuf Ghali and Keith Mayato battling here out of pit road. Eric Hutton stays to lead a lap. Mayato to the outside as Eric Hutton has brought it down to pit road. That'll cycle the lead to Dallas Sullivan. Cabot now up to second. Behind them, Mayato and Ghali continue to battle into turn number 1 as Hutton exits the pits.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because we have Lyle Salfridge and Dallas Sullivan still out there on the track. Mayado's up there with Yusuf Ghali in 5th and 6th position.
Dallas Sullivan's on the 3-stop strategy here.
Yeah.
He's going to lose it here as he's let his lap. He's going to lose his spot, the lead to Adam Cabot.
Jeff did not lead the lap. Nope, Dallas did not. Nope, Hutton took the one that he was going to lead, and now he gets passed right there at the line.
Well, he still hasn't let his lap, but he's followed it and saying he's going to give himself a good finish here. He'll be on the attack the next run because he'll have way fresher tires than everybody the next run when he brings it in, probably within the next 8 or so laps. So we'll see what happens here as Cabot in the lead of this race, but Jeff Wright slowly running him down, actually quickly running him down, Wright pushing his tires, and they've really, really gapped Keith Mayato and Yusuf Ghali, and Mayato's solid run once again, quiet, but man, he's fast in that 36. He wants these guys to race each other. I think that's the hope here as David Shieldhouse getting put another lap down by Adam Cabot and Jeff Wright.
Yeah, and just to recap what has happened here, we've had 2 different championship contenders get boxed out of this race tonight from different circumstances. We've had the 8 of Seth Hatchel. We've had the 20 of David Shieldhouse. We've had the 24 Bailey Turner.
Yeah.
So that leaves Jeff Wright. He doesn't have to win this race.
No problem here. As Bailey Turner down to 9th. Unfortunately, that car heavily damaged, and Jeff Wright, all the points that Bailey gained on Jeff Wright, he's going to probably give them all back here tonight unless some issues with the 48 happen, which are still possible. Still not a long way to go, but still some time to go here in this race as Yusuf Ghali got by Keith Mayato. for third. So Golly up to third. Mayano back down to fourth.
Can I say it on the broadcast or not? I don't know
What?
if I should say it or not. Well,
I
I'm just
don't-
thinking
that's
if you're a
what you're
Bailey Turner fan, maybe you're hoping Jeff Wright pits in front of Adam Cabot tonight. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I think Jeff Wright might have caught the wall. He's got some right rear damage.
Yeah, he's running it really up there too, and that's product of running that line.
And he's going to
It
get a
can't
nice
happen.
run here, too. What is he going to do? What will Cabot do is the question. Cabot's going to fight him. We know Cabot ain't going to relinquish this spot easy. Here we go. Cabot going to run the outside lane, take that air away from Jeff Wright. What's going to happen here? Jeff Wright closes up to the back bumper, tries to loosen Cabot up here off of turn number 2.
Right up the nose, right up on the rear bumper, the 48 of Jeff Wright, all over it. That dirty air. Cabot's doing really good at
man.
defensive driving here. Closes the door in 3.
Took it away right there from the 48 of Jeff Wright. And what will this allow for Yusuf Ghali and Keith Mayano to close up if they're saving tires? We know Cabot and Wright are going to push their cars to the limit. Cabot uses the outside. Wright uses the inside, tries to diamond the lane. Cabot going to get a nice run, momentum off the corner here at Atlanta. And I'll tell you what, if Cabot's going to win this race, he's going to have to drive some of the best 40 laps he's ever driven.
And we still have an
Oh,
opportunity
that's going to
here.
use the outside here.
This is going to work out good for a run, but I don't know if he can shoot the gap and take the inside. Here it
Gonna
comes
have a
for the
nice
48
run.
again.
It's going to require a slide job, most likely, for the 48 to really take the lead this early into a run. We know Cabot's tires aren't the best. They're one lap older, but we know that he's still got enough grip to kind of hold off this 48. As this run goes, depending on how hard they push it, where will these tires be is the question. Is they got the lap machine of Justin Carey to negotiate. Carey uses the outside lane. What does this do for Wright? Wright has to go to the middle. Actually, Wright might get enough of a run to get to the outside of the 17. No, he just gets a little too loose. That's going to allow Adam Cabot to hold on, but Wright's got a nice lead, or nice run into turn number 1 here. What will he do? He looks to the inside. He'll go back outside. Cabot takes that lane away.
I think the 48 just faked him up to the outside because he had such a run. Now they're side by side into the back stretch.
Oh,
Jeff Wright gets
man.
really loose and can't
What?
hold on to it.
Tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a good fight here for the win here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Coming up to 30 laps to go in the simulator's anonymous 175 as Dallas Sullivan on the 3-stop strategy has brought it back down to pit lane. He'll be taking his set of Goodyear Racing Eagles and back down onto the 46 octane Ford Mustang. He'll lose 1 lap here, but he'll take 4 tires and will be on the attack till the end of this race.
Watching this lead get shaved away a little bit as these guys are racing side by side. Under 3 seconds now for Yusuf Ghali and Keith Mayano. About 6/10 back from him in the 4th position. Bentley Glaser, solid night. He's putting it together. 14 positions gained here for the 87 team. Yeah, it's high time they put a sponsor on that car.
Yes, it is. It is about time that he gets a sponsor on that race car. Unfortunately, though, going to need a caution if he wants a chance at a win. And heck, this caution might come out if these leaders really get to racing here. We know Adam Cabot, the Magic Man. They call him that for a reason. Unfortunately, he's had some incidents where he absolutely killed David Schulthouse in the entry pit lane. Got in the back of Max Cost entering pit lane as well. So, unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any more pit stops here in this race that Adam Cabot will be behind anyway. If he's in the leader, he can't run into anybody else. So, that helps.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see. Jeff Wright is going to pressure him.
It's going to be a situation where Cabot has to pit the same time or... Oh, no, Wright's in the wall. Too much pushing there for the 48.
Same mistake as last week at Auto Club. He got the wall there. Well, how much will that affect the handling of the 48? Decent damage there to the... It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, but still, he already got the right rear into the fender, so I'm assuming that the right front took the blunt of that hit. We'll see what happened here. I don't know if we want to take a replay of what happened because he definitely lost some time to the 17 now. Getting on board here with the 48 last time around.
To go back a little bit further, I believe he hit that in the exit of 2.
It just seemed like he overstepped the limit here. You can see gets tight and then he gets up into the wall. There's really the marbles have kind of developed up at that point of 1 and 2, and he just got into him and he just went straight up into the outside wall. Looks like fortunately not too much damage, but definitely going to affect the performance of that race car. As you can see, oversteps there, and then he gets into the outside wall. Decent shot, not too hard of a shot, but definitely a decent one. Unfortunately, gonna affect him. He lost about a half a second to Adam Cabot. He was on his bumper. Now he's got a car between. He'll get by Mikulski here, but yeah, he's gonna have even harder fighting to do here, as this has allowed Yusuf Ghali and Keith Mayato to kind of run up there. Has Cabot pushed his tires too hard, trying to hold off right? Will this allow Ghali and Mayato to run them down?
That's time by 33.5 to Yusuf Ghali, had a 33.2, so he's 0.3 faster. Keith Mayato actually a little bit faster than Yusuf Ghali that time through. They are catching the leader.
They are
But I think green flag pit stops. Green flag
Yeah.
pit stops.
No, there
probably
is no
happen.
more green flag pit stops to the end.
Oh, they're gonna
They're
run
one
it
of
to
these
the
set
end?
of tires to the end, most likely. These guys went 40 laps last time. I'm assuming they'll go another 40, so that'll take us to the end. So
We can make it all the way then.
yeah, I think we can. 48 laps is the gap on fuel, so I'm assuming that's what they're going to try to do. I see some guys, they have three stock this race. We'll see how much that matters on tires. Right now, Dallas Sullivan is a second faster than everybody on the racetrack. The only problem is he's one lap down. Nobody else has brought it down pit lane. I believe Ben Bafford brought it down pit lane, but he is now sitting in pit lane. So I think he's either retired the race car or getting some damage fixed.
Yeah, it looks like the 23 is probably done for the day. Marks it down there on pit road. And we're going through this Bailey Turner. Let's see how he's recovered. 7th position here for the 24.
He
Didn't
might
look
lose
like that
one or
damage
two
hurt
here.
him. It didn't hurt him too bad coming in, but man, what a lick. That right rear is
Yeah.
destroyed.
This is definitely one of the guys hoping for no caution, because if a caution comes out, that car will not be able to hold positions on a restart, especially when everybody's grouped together. So I don't think he'll be in a spot as, oh, did Jeff Wright get into the wall again?
I believe so, and now getting passed by the 20 heartbeat
No, I
hot
think
sauce
he's-
machine of Shieldhouse, unless
I think
he's just falling
struggling.
off.
I think he's struggling with that car now with that damage. It's going to be
He's
good.
lost about
Billy
8
Turner,
8/10 here on Adam Cabot since he first hit
Yeah.
the wall.
this will be good for Bailey Turner here if Wright loses some spots.
To mitigate the situation. That
Remember, look at who David Shieldhouse is closing up on there. I hate to cut you out there. I'm sorry, but look at who David Shieldhouse is closing up to. He's closing up on Adam Cabot.
I was watching. I was paying attention. I was just going to let it happen, see what happened.
We'll see here. I don't know if Shieldhouse is going to do anything. He might try to hold up to 17, which should be quite the move. But yeah, right now racing with the 17. He hit him hard. He bumped him nice down the backstretch, and now there's some damage on the 17.
Yeah, we'll
Heck,
have
who
to
cares
go.
about Martinsville? We got numbers flared here in Atlanta. Shieldhouse letting the 17 know he didn't appreciate what happened early in the race. Now Cabot lets him go, but Shieldhouse showing his displeasure down the backstretch. Well, he's showing him more displeasure here in Atlanta. He's going to pinch the 17 hard, but he'll blow by him with fresher tires. But now Cabot with a little more damage, and Yusuf Ghali just got by Jeff Wright for second.
But now I think we can go back. I think it's simmered down enough that we can go back and take a look at this.
I don't know. I think David's going to maybe just play with the 17. We'll see here, but you can see Adam Cabot running on the bottom. David Shieldhouse got a nice run, and on board, the 20 just didn't lift, and he gave him a nice shot down the backstretch. Damaged the back bumper cover of the 17 of Adam Cabot. And Yusuf Ghali is loving what he's seeing.
So back here in the second position, 1.3 seconds back, gets by Jeff Wright. Yusuf Ghali, it's been a minute since he's won a race. 54.
I thought he won like 2 weeks ago.
Did he win 2 weeks ago?
Did he? Yeah, he won Bristol. He won at Bristol. He beat Jeff Wright in a close finish there. He took tires at the end of that race, was able to win.
I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what though, Yusuf Ghali is turning right about the same laps with Adam Cabot. I'll tell you who's turning better laps is Keith Mayato. He's slowly but surely closing up on these guys, closing up to Jeff Wright as well.
Jeff Wright, about 2/10
Yeah,
off of these
lap-
guys,
Max Moss coming
speed-wise.
by.
87 and Bentley Glacier. He's actually catching up a little bit to these guys.
He's just a little bit too far back, unfortunately, I think. So it's funny, man. A lot of incidents so far this race to not have a caution.
A lot of cars hitting each other for sure.
Yeah, and tell you what, like Jeff Wright under pressure here from the 36 Keith Mayato. Wright knows he's got to save some points, save some positions here to, you know, at least still gain some points on Bailey Turner. He will, as Turner has fallen down to ninth after McGarvey and Samard have passed him. So we'll see what happens. He might lose another spot to Dice by the end of this race. And he won't be in jeopardy of going a lap down, but definitely a lot of damage affecting the number 24, Bailey Turner, as he's down to ninth. Wright has fallen back down to fourth. Mayato able to get by the 48 of Wright. That damage affecting Jeff Wright's handling of that race car. Both of these guys now probably hoping for no caution, as Adam Cabot started on pole, and well, he's leading some laps here. He's led a lot of laps, not as much as Jeff Wright, but maybe at the end of this thing he will have led as much, as Yusuf Ghali's kind of fallen back to about 1.2 seconds behind. Mayato about 2 seconds behind. Both with fresher tires, might I point out.
Yeah, it's looking like maybe they're saving a little bit to make that last run for the last 10 laps, and you don't want to let him get too far ahead of him. 1.1 seconds the gap between the 54 and the 17. Mayato looking at a podium here, but I don't know. Jeff Wright, I think he's going to be okay.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely hold on to fourth.
Yeah, I don't think Glacier is going to be able to catch these guys. It's 3 or 4 seconds that he has to catch up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Is so far Cabot got passed by one lap car, and now it's no cars separating between he and the 54. Remember, they're both teammates, but right now he's starting to really move as a battle for 7th. Kyle McGarvey and Chris Samard. How about Kyle McGarvey having himself the run of his season, up into the 7th position, goes to 42, really repping the Simulators Anonymous group here tonight. Highest running Simulators Anonymous driver, so he's having himself a heck of a run here tonight at Atlanta.
Board here with the 42. Garvey's been solid, especially there in the Contender Series. I used to broadcast there on Monday nights. There's always the McGarvey boys up there in the top 5. Dallas Sullivan fighting for wins. It's good to see these names get up here and have a good night.
It was mainly Anthony, Alex, and Nick Gardner. Or it was Anthony, Alex Pelican, and then Nick Gardner was always up there as well. And then you had the McGarvey bros. Then you had Dice. Dallas was always up there as well. So Starling had some runs. So the McGarvey brothers were good as well. That was always a good series to watch. Can't forget Eric Lambert. Hope he's doing well. We missed seeing him.
Alex? What was it? Alexander.
Alexander Pelican.
Yeah, the Pelican brothers.
He was good.
The
Pelican brothers were good. Yeah.
Boys.
Wish they were here racing. I know they're busy working on some real racing stuff. I know Alex, one of the engineers on Justin Haley's Cup car, and then I think Anthony's working on Ben Rhodes' truck. So Ben Rhodes had some success at Charlotte 2 weeks ago. He was running, I think he won that race, had a good run at Gateway as well. So good to see those guys doing well. Nick Gardner obviously working, one of the engineers on AJ Allmendinger's car. And speaking of AJ Allmendinger, this week, Sonoma in the Cup Series, that's going to be a heck of a race. Looking forward to watching that.
So here we go. Coming up on 10 laps left. Yusuf Ghali has the lead shaved down to 9/10 of a second. The 54 on the move. He's bringing Keith Mayato with him. But there's about half a second separating the 54 and the 36. Adam Cabot with that rear end damage.
Is it affecting
I think it's affected the speed a little bit. It's not too bad. He's only maybe a 10th difference between Yusuf. He's just got to hold on to it for 10 more laps.
And you do it 10 laps to go in the Simulators Anonymous 175. The Magic Man. Well, it's been magical so far. Had some scuffles with a few guys, but so far he's gotten the lead. Jeff Wright got up into the wall, who was his closest competitor, and he's fallen back down to 4th. So far, Ghali and Mayato pretty much trading lap times with the 17 of Cabot, although Cabot, you can see on board Ghali, he's just sliding off the corners, doesn't have any grip in those rear tires. Is there enough to make a late race charge? I don't know. Adam Cabot, though, commanding lead, about a second gap over the 54 and the 36, but the 36 has more pace than the 54. He's actually a 10th faster than Cabot that last lap. He's got to get around the 54 and the 17 here.
It's going to be a tough beat there with only 9 laps to go now, coming up on 8 to go.
What? There's some lap traffic here for Cabot here. I don't know if he's going to get up to them in these next few laps, but There is some traffic here as now Mayato setting up a run here on Yusuf Ghali. He's got to make quick work. The 54 fakes down. He'll probably run the outside line. No, he runs the bottom. This opens the door for Mayato on the outside. Will he be able to carry the momentum and get the second spot? He'll have a nice run here off of turn 2. Is it going to be enough? No, Ghali holds on, but Ghali gets loose.
Yeah, Ghali almost clips the wall on the exit of 2, and that does open the door big time for Mayato to go to the bottom at 3 and 4.
Ghali just can't do it. Yes,
yep,
Mayato
there it
in
is.
second. Ghali just doesn't have the grip. Can Mayato run him down? 7 laps to go from Atlanta. Adam Cabot now a second lead over the 36. Will Mayato be able to run him down? There's some lap traffic ahead of the 17 that might impede his progress, but I think right now he's looking pretty good. Does David Shieldhouse go back and maybe mess with the 17 a little bit more at the end of this race?
Yeah, I don't know. Mayato's, I mean, he's coming, but I don't know if there's enough time.
Yeah. Having them battle was exactly what Adam Cabot wanted to see there. So we'll see what happens here. Oh, Ghali almost got up in the outside wall. As that last time by, but even lap times with the 36 and the 17.
33.956 to a 974. 200ths of a second's not going to cut it. Mayato's going to have to get tenths of a second if he wants a chance to get to the lead.
Is it going to be enough for Keith Mayato? Right now, he's just about stabilized with the 17 of Adam Cabot. Cabot gets around the lap machine of Lane Sulfridge, putting him a second lap down. So far, the racing has been great here tonight from Atlanta. Bentley Glazer maybe under fire for the 88 of Eric Hutton for 5th right now. But so far, Jeff Wright back up in 4th will gain a lot of points on Bailey Turner, who's right now going to have to fight for his life on Alan Dice to stay inside the top 10 here. Right now, Adam Cabot, though, 1.1 second lead over the 36, about 10 car lengths and a lap car right in the middle. Oh, just to carry him to the outside wall.
He hit it pretty hard, too. Luckily, the guys that were on the lead lap got around him before that mistake. The 12 of Carey has substantial right side damage. 4 laps to go, though, and it's Adam Cabot, 1.1 seconds ahead. Even lap times yet again as they start to crawl into the 34-second lap time. I think that's all she wrote. This is Adam Cabot's race to win.
Pretty much it is. They've evened out on lap times, even though Mayato has 1 lap fresher tires. It just doesn't look like it's going to be enough here unless something drastic happens to the 17 of Adam Cabot. Here we go. 3 laps to go from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Cabot's led 45 laps here. He'll try to lead 48 to cruise to a victory here tonight.
Trying that high line now for the 36 to see if he can get any kind of pace. He was running that bottom a moment ago. It doesn't seem like the top is really helping very much at all. A little bit of straightaway speed. You'll see maybe that lead dwindle down to under a second. You will, and then it'll go right back up as they go into the entry of the corners. That's the problem with the high line. It's just deceitfully fast in the straightaways. But this time by another even mark. And Casey Lakatos gets passed by Adam Cabot. Cabot making quick work of the lap traffic. 2 laps to go as they go into 1 and 2. Cabot just has to go around this place 2 more times. And he'll be our victor. The Simulators Anonymous 175 at Atlanta's Legacy Track.
Yes. Been a great race here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jeff Wright, your points leader. He's led 43 laps here tonight, and unfortunately,
63.
he's going to finish 63. Sorry, wow,
Yeah.
I read that well. Unfortunately, it's going to be too little too late for Jeff Wright as the white flag has flown here. 1 more lap to go for the Atlas 17 Chevy Camaro of Adam Cabot off of turn 2 for the final time. And now a half a lap to go, looking for his 2nd win this season. Your reigning champion obviously hasn't ran full time this season, but right now, a 2nd win on the season doesn't look too bad as he'll look to go for the championship again next year. But off of turn 4, the Magic Man has another magical day, and a 2nd win of the season comes in Atlanta.
I want to go back here and talk about it real quick. The 24 of Bailey Turner gets passed by Alan Dice there in the last lap.
And he's still trying to fight for a position here as Dice has gotten around him, some more points being lost for Bailey Turner. How about Eric Hutton getting 6th position, so he'll gain points on Turner, but it looks like Mayato 2nd, Golly 3rd, Wright 4th, Glazer 5th, then it goes to Hutton, McGarvey having a solid day today, Samard, Dice, and then Turner crossing the line in 10th. Unfortunately, gonna lose a little more points to Jeff Wright in the 48 as Adam Cabot burns it down in the infield and on across the start-finish line. Heck of a burnout here in front of the fans. He didn't keep it out of the wall, but it's all right. But Adam Cabot's 2nd win of the season as he wins the Simulators Anonymous 175. Stick around for interviews with your winner, Adam Cabot, Keith Mayato, and Yusuf Ghali. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and interview your top 3.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Simulators Anonymous 175 has concluded here tonight. We've seen it all. We saw everything you could even think of in this race here tonight. There was an accident there between Baffert, Hatchel, Kalski in it. We had this happen.
David Shieldhouse get clipped by Adam Cabot entering pit road, and unfortunately this right here, Shieldhouse a contender, this one unfortunately took him out of the race. And we'll go to the next one here, and looks like a little moment between Yusuf Ghali and Keith Mayato there in the middle of pit road, and it seemed like Jeff Wright was poised to win his 5th race of the season. That was until he got up into the outside wall. Then a little bit later in this race, because of the contact between Cabot and Shieldhouse, Cabot gives him a nice shot into the back bumper, letting him know, voicing his displeasure. And unfortunately, that wasn't to no avail as Adam Cabot cruised home to his 2nd win of the season as he burned it down on the front stretch here tonight for a second win here in the Simulators Anonymous 175. But to catch up with our top three, Bradley Cooper is standing right next to the 54 car of Yusuf Ghali, your third place finisher. Bradley, take it away.
Yusuf Ghali, you had the speed there. It looked like you were catching up to the 17 of Cabot. And then just a little clip with the wall kind of puts you back there a tenth or two, and you fall back to third. Keith Mayato barely getting by. Yusuf, it looked like the tires wore off really quickly here at this track here tonight.
Yeah, it was nice to get a really high wear track. I thought Fontana would be this, but it really wasn't like this. We had like 4 seconds fall off tonight.
Yeah, running a 31.6 to start the race and then finishing out with a 34.4. That's a lot of fall off in a short amount of time. 39 laps on that stint. Now, Yusuf, we're looking here at the speed that you carried all the way through this race. Were you feeling like in the 7th position qualifying? Did you feel like this was the race-winning car?
I normally don't put much effort into qualifying. I mean, I put effort into it, but I mean, I don't put much water into it. You know what I mean? I feel like it doesn't really matter where you start in some of these races as long as you have the long run speed. And I really thought we had the long run speed, but we had a little bit of clip of the wall going into 3. I didn't really think it would hurt. I didn't see any damage, but after that, the car just, it didn't feel off, but it was definitely slower.
Yeah, that straightaway speed, it was just so important to get that run off the outside and carry the momentum. But you come here in 3rd position at the Legacy Atlanta track. Congratulations on that performance. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out and thank for tonight?
Just broadcasters, league owners, all the league sponsors, everybody. Thank you guys for allowing us to do this.
Appreciate your time, Yusuf, and go celebrate and have a good rest of your week, my guy.
Thank you guys.
3rd place finisher, Yusuf Ghali, getting it done. Almost edging out your 2nd place finisher here tonight. We'll go back and look at this guy, Keith Mayato, down on pit road. Keith, 2nd time we talked to you in a row. You had a great finish there last week, and now here we are, 2nd, another podium. How was it driving out there? It seemed like you were catching Adam for a little bit, and then it kind of faded away.
It was tight towards the end. I kind of burned my stuff up, trying to get by a few guys, and there's a lot of things going on in the last stint that pretty much had an effect, I think, on at least getting to Adam. There's one part in turn 2 I had to check up pretty bad for a lap car, and that alone will probably cost a second. So who knows? It was a good race nonetheless.
You get around Yusuf Ghali there with about 5 to go, and you clear him. Then we thought we might see the run. It was about even lap times after that, and it looked like you were a little bit faster before you passed Yusuf. We're talking about Martinsville next week, and we've got some tempers flaring, and I don't know what your insight is, but it looks like it's heating up out there on the track.
It's definitely heating up. Should be interesting with this car, with the damage model. I don't know how much it's going to affect the mechanical side of it, so I have a feeling we still have to race pretty clean. So it should be an interesting race.
Well, Keith, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Puts you up there in the realm of guys with that average finish. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, I'd like to thank, everyone on my team for helping me out, working on just getting the feel for it in the beginning of the race, and Simulators Anonymous for sponsoring the race tonight, and yourself and Alec for doing an awesome job with the broadcast.
Appreciate it, man, and go celebrate. Have a good week, and maybe we'll see you next time.
We'll see what's going to happen. All right, take care, guys.
Take care. 2nd place finisher here tonight, Keith Mayato in the 36 VSPEED machine. And we got one more interview. I'm going to let you take it away, Alec. You're down in victory lane with him.
Well, I appreciate it here. Adam Cabot down in victory lane. Adam, Bradley, Cooper, Alec Martinez, VSPEED. You got a copy?
10-4, Alec.
Well, we talked to you at the beginning. You started on pole, you win the race, but a little controversy getting into David Schildhouse there, entering pit road, and then a little contact with Max Koss late in the race. Take us through your night.
Yeah, it certainly was eventful to say the least. Start out, I know I mentioned this on the Pace Lap interview. Bailey told me what to do in qualifying, and it didn't seem right to me, but I gave it a shot anyway since I didn't really practice the Q lap, and put on the pole and stole a point away from him, which I felt a little bit bad about, because I know he's going for points. And Yeah, I mean, honestly, tonight, obviously excited to get the win, and it was another classic Jeff Wright, Adam Cabot battle there on a hot, slick, worn-out track. So that was fun to have a battle with Jeff like we used to years ago in ORL and VRL. But yeah, I even though I'm a part-time guy, just out here going for wins, and I drive aggressive, like I pride myself on taking care of the guys who are out here going for points, and I just did a really bad job of that tonight. Two just complete misjudgments getting into David, and then same thing with the 63. I mean, with the 63, I haven't seen a replay of that yet, but he was like super low on the backstretch and slow. I think even under the white line, or at least close to the white line, coming back up on the track. So in my mind, I'm thinking that he's coming out of the pits on fresh tires, and he's just gonna blast off away from us going into 3. So I guess he put in the text chat that he was pitting. I did not see that at all, and just ran him over as well. So that's I went the whole season without getting into any issues or causing any trouble with these guys going for points, and then just flat out ran over 2 of them coming into the pits. So definitely apologize to both David and I think that was Max there. But yeah, I mean, it kind of takes the wind out of the sail too, because I think we're gonna have a really awesome race with David and Jeff there. 3 of us seem pretty evenly matched, and what won me the race for sure was getting into the pits on that last stop. I just absolutely destroyed God tier pit entrance there. I don't know how that happened, but again, when you're part-time, you can kind of just take risks and not have to really worry about it not playing out. I just sent it into the pits and barely got it slowed down in time, and definitely made up a lot of time there and got the track position ahead of Jeff. And at that point, I knew if I just kind of air blocked him a little bit, and with only a 1 lap difference on our tires between the 2 of us, if I could just make him use up his stuff a little, and then he made it easy on me by, I think, getting into the wall there. So, really tough competition this league. Really pumped to get a win. Shout out again to Bailey for getting me that pole, because that track position for sure helped. But definitely need to write tonight off as an anomaly with the judgment errors, I guess. And I don't plan on changing the way I race at all, but maybe need to rethink green flag pit stops.
I don't know, but we'll see. Obviously, next week we go to Martinsville short track. We know David wasn't too pleased with you. Do you expect, even in anybody else in general, a little payback at Martinsville, where we know there'll be a lot of bumping and banging next week?
No, I don't. David and I have a pretty long history in other leagues, and I'm sure he's upset right now, and he's every right to be. But I think we both have a pretty mutual respect for each other, and I think that once he cools down, we've joked around before for the last couple of years, like, we always have such great battles with each other, kind of like Jeff and I do, and I would always say, I'm like, well, one of us is gonna screw that up eventually. You just can't battle someone that close, be around them on the track for that many races, not have someone make a mistake that pisses the other one off. And I was kind of hoping it would go the other way around, but unfortunately, I was the one who, I guess, broke that seal there. So I think we'll be fine moving forward. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see you back next week at Martinsville. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, everyone in this league for putting on awesome races. Shout out to the broadcast crew. You guys do a great job, and everyone who watches my races and all my teammates. Yeah, it's always a good time on Tuesday nights here at BTDY.
For sure. Well, again, congratulations on the win, and we will see you next week at the Paperclip.
All right, you got it. Thanks, Al.
All right, have a good one, buddy. Adam Cabot, your race winner, and like he said, doesn't expect any more payback from David Shieldhouse, which I expect that too. I think David voiced his pleasure tonight, and those guys always race hard and clean. So I'm looking forward to Martinsville next week, Bradley. I think this is going to be a heck of a race next week. Tempers are going to flare, cars are going to be broken, feelings are going to be broken next week as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend here, or next week. Is I know if you want to give us a little bit of what's going on for the next week and your closing thoughts of this race.
Well, closing thoughts on this race, we had it all, but if you thought it was intense here, Martinsville is going to be times 10. They're going to see each other every lap. You're not going to be able to get away from that guy that you might have bumped 3 or 4 laps ago. He's going to find his way back in front of you. He's maybe, even if you do ruin his day, putting him a lap down, you're gonna see him again. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to Martinsville as well. As for this race, it had it all. We had green flag pit stops. We had clean and green yet again. Full field of 25 cars. I enjoyed every second of it. And I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We have Saturday Night Racing League at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't have to tell you what day of the week that'll be. And then Monday, VSRL. They're going to have their third race in the chase. We're looking at, well, I had it, I lost it. Alec, I failed. I had the schedule.
Okay.
Bristol, I believe.
Bristol. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so we
That's
got a lot of
gonna be
short
fun with
track
those
racing
trucks.
for you. Yeah. And the new truck model changing here on iRacing should make things pretty interesting. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast here on VSPEED of the BTDY Racing Series. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single race when we go live at 8:35 Eastern Time next week at Martinsville Speedway. For everybody at VSPEED, myself, Alec Martinez, and Adam Baker, we thank you for your time here tonight. This is VSPEED signing off. Take care, everybody.
Oh, big wiggle. And here comes Lionel. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Turn!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.